Hello and welcome. If you're even thinking about solar energy, you've probably heard a million different things. It can feel like a real whirlwind of conflicting info. So today we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're going to separate the myths from the reality, using what we've learned out in the real world to help guide you on your own path to energy independence. Let's get into it. Not too long ago, we at Advent Off-Grid met a family who just put up their first solar system. And you could just feel their excitement, this real pride in what they'd done. But you could also sense this little bit of doubt, this collection of warnings and whispers they'd picked up from friends, from family, from the internet.
And right there, that's really the heart of it all, isn't it? Their worries are so common, and they're completely valid. And you know what? It's the perfect place for us to start unpacking these myths one by one and replace all that doubt with the simple, bright truth about solar power.
Okay, so first up, let's tackle the biggest, oldest myths out there. The ones all about how solar panels really handle things when the weather isn't exactly perfect sunshine. This is a big one. It's probably the misunderstanding we hear the most. You picture these scorching deserts, right? And you just assume that's the only place where solar can really work. But what if I told you that some of the biggest solar players in the world are in places that are, well, pretty cloudy and not that hot? Here's the absolute key to everything. Solar panels run on light, not heat. In fact, and this surprises a lot of people, extreme heat actually makes them less efficient. Just take a look at countries like Germany and the Netherlands. They are global leaders in solar, and they're not exactly famous for blistering sunshine, are they? That right there proves it's all about the light.
So what about those gray, overcast days? Let's get a little technical for a second. Even with a thick layer of clouds, your panels are still producing energy. They're typically working at about 20 to 60% of their peak power. The point is, they never just stop. And that quiet, steady production, that's the foundation of real energy independence, day in and out, no matter what the sky looks like.
And that brings us perfectly to the next myth, which is totally related. This idea that once winter rolls around and the days get short, your solar system basically just shuts down and hibernates. The truth is actually way more positive than that. Sure, the days are shorter, there are fewer hours of daylight, but as long as there is light hitting those panels, they are making electricity. And because panels are always installed on an angle, most of the snow just slides right off. In fact, sometimes the light reflecting off fresh snow can actually give your production a little boost. But here's the part that might really surprise you. Cold air is actually good for solar panels. It improves their efficiency. So, a bright, crisp, cold winter day can be incredibly productive. It just goes to show you the quiet, resilient power of a system built to work all year round.
All right, so now that we've cleared the air about performance and weather, let's shift gears and talk about the practical stuff. The money, the investment, and what it's actually like to live with a solar system day to day.
This is a huge one. It's a point of hesitation for so many people. With all the talk about changing policies and the upfront cost, it's totally fair to wonder if maybe you've missed the boat, if the financial window for solar has already closed. Well, the answer really starts right here with this number. Just a couple of decades ago, solar was, for most people, a very expensive dream. But today, the cost of solar panels has absolutely plummeted. We're talking by over 80%, while at the same time, they've gotten much more efficient. And that completely changes the entire financial picture. So, what does that huge price drop actually mean for you? Well, it means that most systems that are tied to the grid pay for themselves in just 5 to 8 years. And after that, the electricity you're making is basically free. This isn't just about saving a few bucks on your bill. This is a real, tangible step toward true financial and energy independence.
Okay, so it makes financial sense, but is it going to be a constant headache to own? I think people imagine themselves up on a wobbly ladder every single weekend, tinkering with this complicated piece of equipment. But is that really what it's like?
The truth is, a solar system is one of the lowest maintenance things you can possibly own. I mean, think about it. There are no moving parts. They're built like tanks to handle the weather for decades. For most people, a good rainstorm is all the cleaning they'll ever need. Plus, with modern apps, you can see exactly what your system is doing right from your phone, so you'd know right away if anything was wrong. It's the kind of tech you can install and then just trust. This is a fear I hear all the time, and it makes people pause. That feeling of, what if I invest all this money now, and then in 2 years, some brand new revolutionary thing comes out and makes my entire system obsolete? Let's put that fear to rest, because here's the best way to think about it. Solar tech gets better all the time, for sure.
But it's an evolution, not a revolution. It's kind of like windows in a house. New windows today are way more efficient than ones from 20 years ago, right? But those old windows still work perfectly fine. A quality solar panel you install today is still going to be working hard, generating clean energy a quarter of a century from now. That makes it a really secure, long-term investment in your own autonomy.
Okay, now let's zoom out a bit. Let's look beyond our own rooftops and talk about the bigger picture, the real environmental impact of solar, and what it's truly capable of in terms of power. And this is a really good question, a fair one. I mean, to make anything, you have to use energy, you have to use resources. So, is the process of making a solar panel actually doing more harm than good in the long run? This is where we have to talk about something called an energy footprint. It's pretty simple, actually. A solar panel pays back all the energy it took to make it within its first 1 to 2 years of just working. After it hits that break-even point, every single watt it generates for the next 25 years or more is completely clean. Compare that to fossil fuels, which cause pollution every single day they're used. It's not even a contest.
And what about at the very end of its super long life? Well, here's the technical detail that really seals the deal. Over 90% of the materials in a solar panel, we're talking valuable stuff like glass, aluminum, silicon, can all be recycled and used again. So this isn't just about creating energy for one lifetime, it's about a circular path toward a truly sustainable independence.
And this is the ultimate question, isn't it? Especially for anyone who's dreaming of being truly self-sufficient. Can a bunch of panels on your roof really power everything in your house, day and night?
The answer is a huge, resounding yes. A modern, well-designed system absolutely can. It really just comes down to 3 simple steps. 1, your panels generate power all day. 2, high-quality LFP batteries, which we choose for their incredible safety and long life, they store all that excess energy. And 3, a smart inverter manages the whole show, delivering that stored power to your home all through the night. I mean, the countless off-grid homes and farms that are thriving right now, they prove this isn't some dream for the future. It's happening right now.
So, we've talked about the weather, we've talked about the money, the maintenance, the impact. We've basically replaced all the myths with cold, hard facts. So now, let's just talk for a moment about the simple truth that lies behind all of it.
This is it. This is the fundamental truth that never changes. Solar power isn't some complicated tech trend. It's the simple act of catching a source of energy that is constant, that is reliable, that is free, and that shines down on every single one of us every single day. Myths, you see, they just fall apart when they're faced with facts and with real-world experience. And this goes to the very heart of the Adventure Grid ethos. This journey is about so much more than just electricity. It's about making a conscious choice. A choice for autonomy, for reliability, and for freedom from these fragile systems that can fail us and, well, often do.
And that's the ultimate question, isn't it? When you strip away all the myths and you see the clear, simple truth of it, you realize the power has been right there above our heads the whole time. The choice to reach out and take it has always been ours to make. Thanks for joining.